I'm strong in faith.
Faith can move mountains. Radio Maria, 91.3 FM.
The voice of truth.
Good evening, Abuja. You're welcome to another episode of Journey Through Life here on Radio Maria 91.3 FM. I'm your host, Sisi Bunmi. I hope you had a good day. You're winding down, no guess. Are you on your way home in the car? Drive safely and relax and join us for the next 1 hour as I chat with my host this evening, Mr. Fola Atolagbe. He was born in 1947 in Otun Ekiti, now in the present-day Ekiti State. He graduated from the University of Ibadan in 1972 with a BSc Geology, and then he advanced again to University of Ile-Ife, now Obafemi Awolowo University, where he obtained his MSc in Hydrogeology and Engineering Geology. Good evening, sir. You're welcome to the program.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you very much.
Yes. I can see you have an accomplished life. Take us through your background, a bit of your background.
Thank you very much. Just like you said, I was born in 1947. By God's grace, in another few months at time, I'll be 77 years.
Wow, you don't look it, I must say. You don't look it. You could pass for a 65-year-old man.
Thank you.
Believe me.
Thank you very much.
That's a fact, not just a compliment. So you will tell us later on how you do it. You have come today with 6 soundtracks to your life. And the first one is Bob Marley Redemption Song. Shall we play it?
Okay.
Yes. Redemption Song by Bob Marley. That's the first soundtrack to your life. So why that particular song?
Yeah, thank you very much. It is about freedom. Just like we had mental slavery. The issue is that mentally we're not free. Yeah, because most of the time we believe our problem is caused by others. But in the real sense of it, we are the cause of the problems. For example, if we're ignorant, if knowledge we don't have, so mentally we enslaved. So all we need to do is we have to learn. We need the knowledge, because without it, then becomes a very big problem. Yeah, because we have to free ourselves first of all. Yeah, because if we don't free ourselves, then permanently we're going to be in slavery. So basically
that's why you like the song.
Oh yes,
so
freedom.
You have to free your mind.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so how do you free your mind? In this environment, how do you free your mind?
Yeah, that's quite great. For example, when God created us, and everybody is enough to make them be just anything. So the issue is this. For example, you're a slave, you think that, yes, God created some people to make it, but some people not to make it. Then that's quite wrong. So all you need to do is just strive. Don't believe that you have limitations because...
Don't let anything limit you.
Exactly, yeah. That's anything.
Don't allow limitation of the mind.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yeah, because right inside you is more than enough for you to be whom you want to be. So don't think because somebody is making it, and in your case, you cannot make it because God did it that way. No, right inside you is a lot that you can do that will make you achieve. It is true that level of successes might not be same. To a large extent, when they're talking about others, they will want to say one or two things that's good about you also.
Yes.
So that's a success, which is all about.
Yes, everybody's path is different, isn't it?
Exactly, yes.
So when you free your mind, you're able to achieve your potential. Is that what you mean by that?
Exactly, yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
So when you free your mind...
Yes, you have to free your mind.
Yes.
And, so that
you don't allow the stress, the everyday stress of our living affect you too much.
Exactly, yeah.
Yes. It's difficult though, but
it's doable.
Yes.
Yeah, it's doable. Yeah, because
and you've been doing it for 77 years now. Wow.
Oh yeah, it's quite doable.
Yes.
Yeah, just like I said, right in you is the potential to become anything. Yeah, because it wasn't created today; it was created even before you were born. God.
The potential is there.
Yeah, the potential has been there.
Yes.
Even before the beginning of the world, the creation of the world. Yeah, so you have in you. So,
but maybe some people listening might think, well, it's good for you to say that because back in the days there wasn't this much stress. Everything was easier. So it was easy for you to have a free mind then. But now we have to deal with so many, day-to-day challenges. So would that be correct to say it's not that easy to free our minds now? We have to deal with so many things. Or you don't agree?
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, because the issue is this. You cannot become what you want to become, except you have challenges. So when you have challenges, you become so wise.
I like that.
So to a large extent, you'll be able to, no matter how high the hurdles might be, you will be able to skip the hurdles. But without challenges, it becomes a very big problem. So you must be challenged. So without challenges, it means that you cannot...
So it's how you handle the challenge that matters.
Oh, yes.
It's how you handle the challenge, to overcome the challenge.
Exactly.
And don't see that challenge as the end of the road.
Oh, yes.
Not as a roadblock. It's just another hurdle, you were saying.
Exactly, yes.
Another hurdle to go over and continue your lifetime. That's very interesting.
Exactly. Yeah, because we have the tendency to want to wish away challenges. We pray to God to not let us have challenges, but we're just wasting our time, because we can't wish away challenges. All we need to pray to God for is to be able to surmount the challenges, and then we really have to work. And God is going to do it, but we have our role to play also in it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're listening to Journey Through Life with me, Sisi Bunmi. You can call in to join the conversation. The phone number is 081 084 7518. You can send an SMS or WhatsApp message. Feel free to put in a question or a comment. The next soundtrack to your life, what will it be, sir? Rivers of Babylon by Bonnie M.
Yeah, Bonnie M.
Rivers of Babylon by the Rivers of Babylon, Bonnie M. I remember that very, very well. Why is that special to you? Why is it one of the soundtracks to your life?
Thank you very much. So much to learn from it. Number one, there's something we call a nostalgia. Maybe let me take it. I remember when the Israelites were in Egypt. Yeah, because they saw me very seriously. They cried unto God, so they wanted to leave the place. But halfway, they wanted to go back because of the challenges that they had found there. So they felt like going back to Egypt rather than going.
The land where they were enslaved. They wanted to go back.
They wanted to go back there. But Babylon. The Israelites, they got there, they realized that even home, because if they had done what God wanted them to do, all those things would not have happened at all, because the exile was the most unnecessary, because they were the chosen people. Unfortunately, they didn't live a chosen, so they ran into problems. So when they got there, all they were taken for granted before became a thing they just had to work very hard for. So there's a lot of lessons that when we get to a place we believe that the grass is greener there, it is not so. Anyway at all, we must make grass green. So that's why I really love it. Thank you.
Okay, so all our people that are doing the jackpot thing, you don't really agree with that? You think you should stay where God has planted you and nurture the roots and grow? Is that what you're saying?
Well, if you have a reason, to Japa, we can understand. There might be some reasons. For example, we have some people who wanted to go and read there. I know, not because of the problem in the country or something like that. They just feel maybe what they want, they cannot get here.
To learn and,
not as
experience,
a result of frustration.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So are you saying that...
So to go and they come back.
Yes.
Yeah, not that they're going to buy Nigeria and they go there because of the situation in the country.
So you don't think it's a legitimate reason to leave the country because of the problems? You don't think it's legitimate? You think you should still stay here and make it work?
It's not good, to live in the country, because when you say we have a problem in Nigeria. A lot of people believe that when you get there, you just be picking. Say, for example, like US, you'll be picking dollars just on the ground, but it is not so. In Nigeria, you work for about 8 hours, and the rest you enjoy yourself. But you just not believe that. There, you might work for 18 months. 18
hours a day. Wow.
Yet, not enough, because you have a lot of bills.
So you're working to live.
Exactly.
You're just working. You're constantly working to pay your bills and to do all that.
Exactly. For example, you pay your rent monthly.
Yes.
Any month you default. That's at the end.
Yes.
So it cannot be very easy.
So you're saying that you think life is better here in Nigeria? Is that what you're saying?
It's better. Yeah, because
most people will not agree with you, sir.
Yeah, that's the problem. Just like what what to the Israelites when they got to Babylon. They got there. They were now thinking of what was happening back at home. So they just couldn't imagine to sing any song of a praise or anything like that. They wanted to praise their God, and they learned foreign to them. So because they were doing much better at home. At home. Being at home was much better, than where they were in the diaspora then.
For somebody who has traveled to several countries and lived all over the world, I'm surprised to hear you say that home is still the best, despite our current, challenges. You still think so?
Yeah.
So what would you advise young people now out there who have been, going around with their CVs, no job, no opportunities, and you're still saying that if they had the chance to leave, it's not good enough reason to leave? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. For example, something is quite very interesting. We have the Chinese here. We have Indians and so on and so forth. We just not believe if we go to Ghana today. When we talk Nigeria, they prefer to come to Nigeria, and yet we say Nigeria is very terrible. This and that, and so the issue is this: how are these people making it? That they can make it. We think that there's no wealth in Nigeria, whereas we have a lot of endowments. People come, visitors foreigners from different places. They were able to make it in Nigeria. Why is it that we who are Nigerians, cannot make it?
That's $1 million question. That's the question that everybody's asking.
Yeah. So
yes.
This just the problem.
Because that most young people want to leave. Not even just young people, even older people. They're leaving the country. So you are saying to them, do not leave. Stay here and make it work.
Yeah, because you see,
you're going to be working 18 hours shifts. When you go to America, you barely have any time to sit in the garden and relax and enjoy your Nkobi and all that. That's what Pa Atolagbe is telling us this evening now, that you're better off in Nigeria. And you need to believe him. He's been all over the world. We'll come back to that later. This is Journey Through Life. I am Sisi Bunmi, and my guest this evening is Pat Atolagbe. You can join this conversation on 081 084 47518. You can also send a text message or WhatsApp message. You are listening to Journey Through Life on Radio Maria 91.3 FM. Thank you for joining us. Now, the next soundtrack to your life is Good Morning, Jesus. Good morning, Lord. Yes, good morning, Jesus. Good morning, Lord. So why is this one of the soundtracks to your life?
Yeah, thank you very much. What it promotes is gratitude. Yeah, because we need to show gratitude every time. We have a problem generally. For example, if, say, as little as, 5,000 naira is the problem, we slept, we couldn't make it, and, as soon as I woke up in the morning, we didn't still have the money. And, even thinking about the grace we have to live to see a new day, we didn't think about that. Our health, we don't think about, a host of things like that, And the issue is this. What we need to do is when we wake up in the morning, because by our power we cannot do it. It's not possible except God comes into it.
Yes.
So all we need to do is to thank God for that, first of all. Then later we can
appreciate.
Appreciate God.
Yes.
Then we ask for what we need. Just like the problem these people had, the Israelites, when they were coming, from the land of slavery. Yeah, on the way, for example, the manna, the food they were being given, under normal circumstances, after some time, it will be boring, because it's just only, we need diversity in everything. There must be diversity. So only one food type, it could be very boring.
Only manna every day?
Yeah, manna every day.
Morning, afternoon.
Exactly, yeah. So that they protested was not the issue. It's just that this type of protest. I think they should have thanked their God through Moses and asked Moses to appeal to God that, of course, the food is good, but
We need diversity. Yes.
Just spice it with a little thing, so more things, and so that would be quite okay. Would have been okay. So it's very important for us to be able to show gratitude to God. He's done a lot for us. Yeah, it is true that 5,000 naira might be big because we don't have it. It might give us a lot of problem. But why don't we thank God first of all for what He's done for us?
That you have your life, you have your health, that you woke up in the morning is enough.
Yeah, if we have a billion naira and the health is not there, it's not. It amounts to nothing. So it becomes very important for us.
So you sing this every morning when you wake up?
Oh, every morning.
Every morning.
I do every morning, yes. Yeah, because we do morning devotion. I cannot go to Mass very early in the morning. I'm a midday Mass person. Yeah, so but in the morning, we have some people who are not Catholics, so we come together. We do morning devotion because I'm the head. So they use me just as a pastor. We take our Catholic readings. Everybody can say what they want. So we sing it every day. So
I like this song for the mornings. Good morning. I like it. I think I'm going to adopt that now in the mornings. Yeah. Yes. So what has been the greatest achievement of your life so far? You're 77.
Yeah.
So you've lived, So what would you consider the greatest achievement so far? I know there are many accomplishments, but what would you consider that when you look back, and what you smile about the most?
Yeah, thank you very much. The greatest achievement is my return to God. Let me put it that way. Yes. Well, not that I'm praising myself. Not that I was completely godless before, but I did not do enough. I remember when I attended a Catholic secondary school. And I remember those days we were having about 8 lessons a day. Before every lesson, there was a prayer. After the lesson, there was a prayer. We used to have 3 meals a day, breakfast. We had a lunch and a supper, prayer. And in the morning, we would go for Mass, we would pray. And in the evening before we slept also, some schools very close to us where they were light off was around 9 p.m. or something like that. The time to wake up might be about 7 a.m. But in our case, by 5 o'clock, we had to wake up so that we could prepare for Mass. So after that, in 1967, when I left secondary school, 68 when I got to the University of Ibadan, I thought I had a service of religion. That is,
you had enough prayers.
Yeah,
enough prayer.
And because there was nobody forcing us, so I was away from Catholicism.
When you left home to university, was that your first time of leaving home? Under the care of your parents.
Yes. When I went to secondary school in a different place altogether.
But it was a Catholic school.
But a Catholic school.
And you still had all this prayer routine.
Exactly.
Yes.
But so when I moved to
university, yes,
so much of freedom. And because of that, I just, I went.
So you fell back in your religious life.
But interestingly, yes. But interestingly, I didn't go to any church at all. I just wasn't doing God at all. And interestingly, not that was very terrible. No, I could distinguish between what was good and what was bad.
So the values were still there, even though you were not practicing on a day-to-day.
The problem is that even morally, when you're okay, if you don't have faith in God, it's a waste.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was just the problem. But something brought me back. Very, very exciting. I loved one film. They call it horror film. We had series of them. And the interesting is this about them. A lot of terrible things will happen, but the Reverend Father will be brought in, and he will do the healing. Exorcism and a lot of things, a lot of demoniacs. It will come here, Reverend Father, this and that. So it was like a promotion of Catholicism. So I saw so much in it, I said, well, I think I have to go back to the Catholic Church.
So was that movie that did it for you?
For 22 years, I was away. I didn't go to any church. I was away, but, but because of that, I was able to return. So it was quite big.
So you rediscovered the Catholic, your faith,
exactly,
through watching a movie,
exactly.
And you felt that,
yes, exactly.
That's a very interesting one, because sometimes people will tell you a certain life challenge will bring them back to the church, But in your case, you watched the movie.
Oh, yes.
And it's also interesting that in the 22 years, you never went to another church.
No,
you just did not go to any church.
Oh, yeah.
You just felt like you've had enough praying, enough.
Exactly. Enough of praying.
You had enough.
Oh, yeah. That
but
that
now,
was it.
So how did it feel coming back to the church? Was it strange? Or did you just fit in immediately and you continued?
Not... it wasn't... It gave me happiness, first of all, the joy that, yes, what I've missed, I'm back to it now. And I saw the basis, just like I said, because everything was done by the Reverend Father. So it meant it was a promotion of Catholicism that so much, is there. So it was quite good. But unfortunately, for 22 years...
You missed out.
Oh, yes, I missed out. There's something we call institutional memory, institutional knowledge. So, for example, when I'm talking Catholicism with people, some people seem to know much more about it. That's the Catholic, because for 22 years, and I was still very young then, I still was able to learn. So I just made it. But otherwise, everything is quite okay.
You have lived all over we've lived in Japan, France, Spain, Britain, Germany, United States of America, China, Netherlands, Poland. Wow, you have done some traveling, haven't you? So what are your experiences? And you are back in Nigeria now. So you didn't think to settle in any of those countries. You wanted to come back to your own country.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Thank you very much. Japan. Let me speak about Japan.
Do you speak Japanese? Did you learn the language?
Yeah, I was able to speak a little.
At the time, yes.
But now I think...
So tell us about Japan.
Yeah, I've lost it, yes. The interesting experience, I remember before I left, I had my first degree at University of Ibadan, then the second degree, master's at University of Ife. So when I got to Japan, University of Tsukuba, interestingly, with my master's, I was made to understudy a 200 level part 2. I think you would call it a 200 level. Yeah. Student.
And you were a master's graduate. You had your master's already.
Oh yes, master's. And after the master's, worked here for some time because I got the master's in 1977, and I didn't go to Japan until 1980. So
and they wanted you to understudy a 200 level undergraduate.
Exactly.
How did that make you feel? Did it affect your ego?
Yeah, initially. Yeah, it wasn't too good, Yeah, because I saw myself as a big person, and that, it was below dignity for me to understudy somebody. In Nigeria, it will not just be possible. But something very exciting attracted me to it. And it was a provision. For example, in Nigeria, if you want something, so you want to do something, some people say that except you get the machine, you cannot do it. I bet in Japan, it's not like that. They improvise. Anything they cannot get, they try to improvise, and it works. So with that, I was very attracted. So that really brought the anger in me down. That, yes, it's a very big opportunity to learn that everything you want, you cannot get. So the issue is this. Why don't you start from what you know to what you don't know?
And build it.
Oh, yes. And it really worked.
So you feel it was... but you have to have a certain level of humility to be able to come down, being a master's degree holder, to understudy a 200 level student.
Yeah.
There must be a certain sort of humility for you.
Oh, yes. Yeah, because most especially when I got there, the method we use in Nigeria to do a few things, we got there, but, it just didn't work. So it just didn't work at all. So it meant I had to learn something that, works. So when I got there, I realized that it was the way. If I wanted to achieve, and under most circumstances, when you do something, you want to achieve from it. And I realized that was the way. Initially, just like you said, it was rough. But after some time, when I realized that success, that was the way of success, yes. I had to align with it, and it's been so fantastic. Yes, I really
so how did that impact your life, to know that, because the lesson would have been you can learn from anybody. It doesn't have to be somebody who is more qualified on paper.
Yeah.
You can learn from anybody if you're open to it.
Yeah.
If you're humble enough.
Yes.
Was that a lesson that you learned?
Oh yes. And which is quite a very interesting. Just a short story. I remember I was just telling somebody we were discussing. So he allowed me to lead the discussion, introducing something to the person. And each time I go, after a sentence, the person will say, I know. Even before I finished. After some time, I stopped. I didn't talk again. He said, look, continue. I said, I cannot continue because you say you know.
You know everything.
So, yeah, you know everything. So what's the need to continue? So to learn, who is going to learn when you know everything? So it means that you don't need to learn. So, but the issue is this. My belief is, based on the lessons I've learned there, it doesn't matter when the story that has been told you many times is being told again. All you need to do is just listen well. When you listen well, this time might be quite different. You might have one or two things there to gain. Yeah, because you cannot gain enough. The more you gain, the better. So these are just the issues.
So even though you've heard it many times,
I'll still listen.
you still listen in case there's another angle, a new angle to it.
Exactly.
That's quite interesting.
And it's always like that.
Yes.
It is always like that. Yeah.
You're listening to Journey Through Life with Sisi Bunmi on Radio Maria 91.3 FM. Thank you for joining us. My guest this evening is Sir Fola Atolagbe Don't. That was a big hit for Wasiu Ayinde.
Yeah.
So why is that one of your soundtracks to your life?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, something is quite very interesting. Yeah, some people, when they talk about hard work alone. They say, if you want to make it, you also work hard. When you introduce a prayer, they say you have to work hard. But if you look at the institution of things, for example, the paper seller, you just not, if you go to the market very early in the morning, by 6 a.m., they are there. And they just not believe it until everybody is gone. And they will still be there. They will not leave. And if you ask about them, they will tell you that everything they used to do in advance. That's how do I say it? Yes. For example, they want to eat because they don't have the money. And they want to come to the dessert thing the following day, because they don't have the money on credit. Yeah, okay, that's the word. They eat on credit. They do a lot of things on credit. They take a transport on credit. But these are people
who work very hard.
They work very hard.
Up from 4 a.m.
That's the thing. So if everything is based on a hard work, I think these people, it's quite interesting. If you look at Forbes list of, if we want to call it 1 million richest people in the world, I don't think the market woman will make it. But in the real sense of it, the market woman works harder than another person. All these are bigger guys now. They work much harder.
So you think it's the grace of God?
Yeah, it's the grace of God. Yes.
That's what the song is saying, essentially.
It's about it. Yes, that's exactly what the song is saying. So everything is just by the grace. Because
what he's saying, but he's not saying you should not work hard. You work hard.
Yeah.
And then you pray hard, yes. That's it. So the two comes together.
Exactly, yes. Because when you pray alone, you cannot make it.
Yes.
You have to work very hard.
Yes.
When you work very hard, no matter how hard you work, you can. And then that's why a lot of people, when they're talking, for example, some people say that they were struggling, and they didn't see anybody. They couldn't find the people relations to help them. They would say they didn't see anybody. But you can't make it without somebody. So if God has done it, why are you? And
God will not come down. He has to use somebody. Yes, He will send somebody to be that intercessor.
So once He made it, once you bother, a lot of people say that, no, I cannot help this person, I cannot help that, because when I was struggling, I didn't see
anybody. But is that what do you think? Do you think that is a good thing?
No, it's wrong. Yeah, because the belief is that they did it on their own. Whereas God did it, and He sent somebody. That your relation was not there, it doesn't mean anything. What matters is you're making it. Once you made it, then you have to really say thank you to God.
And you have to lend a helping hand and lift the next person up.
Exactly, yeah, that's how to show.
Notwithstanding that they were not there when you were struggling.
You have to forget about
yes, because you feel that it was God that sent the helper. So nobody, even whoever helps you, is not helping you on their own accord. It is God that is using them.
Exactly.
So that is the essence of what you're saying.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Thank you.
So you were saying something about making it. What do you consider making it? You said if you have made it. How do you describe that somebody has made it? I just want to know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's quite great. Yeah, that's serving out the responsibility. Because God created every one of us for our purpose. Yeah, you cannot make it until you have served out the purpose. Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is making it, does it mean you have houses all over the world, you have cars? Is that making it? Or what is making it to you? How do you define I have made it?
Yeah. To make it is to fulfill the purpose for which God created us.
So how do you determine what purpose God created you? How do we determine that?
Yeah. For example, He created us not one, but many, and for a reason, so that we can be helpers to each other. So the issue is this: how can you say you made it when you've not helped anybody? So you've not. So what we need to do is we have responsibilities. For example, our neighbor, they were created to help us. Though we have to be very grateful to them. And all we need to do is just relate very well with them. Yeah, a lot of us, because once we have so many, we believe that we're superior to
other people.
Yeah, that's it. No, it's not so. Actually, we should see them as superior to us, or at the worst, as being equal. And then we have to really treat them like that. Yeah, so because we made the money, you've done this and that, you're not the first person to make money. You're not going
and you will not be the last.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And besides, nobody knows tomorrow.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people, but just quite interesting. I don't want to mention.
We have a caller on now. Okay. Good evening. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello.
Hello. Good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from? I'm sorry, we lost that caller. Okay. Yes, the next soundtrack to your life is The Merciful God by King Sunny Ade. Merciful God by King Sunny Ade. Would you say God has been merciful to you?
Extremely, very merciful. Yeah, he has. Yeah, okay. He has been very merciful. Yeah, God has been very merciful to me. And, it's really... we look at, for example, when we're talking about accidents, people think that we have accidents only on the road. And what about at home? If anything we do at all, we're exposing us. If we're taking risk, sleep. Because something happened not long ago. Somebody, a member of our church, with 2 daughters, I think they said they were just asleep. I think a 2-story building or something like that. That was where the apartment was. And they just not believe it. Around 1 a.m., they just were hearing noise, and they just couldn't, because they had slept. And before they found out where they were collapsed at the building, it took them a very long time. They were just hearing people.
But they survived.
Yeah, they survived.
Thank God.
They survived. Yeah, because the issue is this: they just went to sleep like that and not thinking of anything. I remember sometimes ago, I think. On a number of occasions, I've just been traveling, because I love traveling by road, before there's a problem of insecurity in the country. So I loved a lot of it. But on the highway, there'll be hold up. But what could cause this? Could it be the police or the military? Or what was the problem? Then somebody said that there was armed robbers or something like that, and they were attacking. Then we wait. After that, they will be able to move. That after having attacked them, they have can. But the issue is this: I saw it about them, but that might not have been all. Yeah, for example, before I got there, some might have happened, even not knowing at all. After I had gotten there, they might have happened. But for the mercy of God, all these things, if I dodge them, would not have been possible at all. Just anything we do, we're exposing ourselves.
I suppose when you've lived for 77 years, there's a big element of the mercy of God.
Oh, yes.
Every step of your life.
Oh, yes.
You have enjoyed in fact, your life is an example of the mercy of God, isn't it?
It's a lesson in it. Yeah,
yes.
A lesson in it. Yeah. Specifically, I remember, it's quite interesting. I went to the hospital. I think I was just 29 years old when I was diagnosed with a high blood pressure. And when the doctor asked me how I had been feeling, 2 years much earlier. So when I told him what had been failing, so he told me that this thing started around that time. So it meant 27 years, I'd been having it.
High blood pressure, hypertension, since the age of 27.
27.
And you are 70. That's 50 years ago.
Oh, yes. And it's been very well managed. Very well managed, And
so how do you manage it?
Yes. There are a lot of things. Number one, weight. Yeah,
so were you overweight back then?
Yeah, I really was. Yeah, very, very.
As a young man?
Oh, yes. Extremely very big. I'm just about 1.7 meters, and my weight at the time was 90 kg. So my BMI was 33 then.
Body mass index.
Oh yes,
that's the BMI.
Oh yes,
body mass index. How do you calculate the BMI? Everybody has. I think there's a BMI that depending on your height and
your weight.
Your weight and your height.
You divide it.
Okay.
Yeah, your weight. You get your height, you multiply by 2, then divide it.
Okay.
By that, to get it.
Yes. Yeah. So for the past 50 years now, you've been managing.
And under normal circumstances, it should not be.
We have a call now. We have a caller now. Good evening. What's your name? Oh, we lost the caller again. I'm sorry about that. Yes, you were saying.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it should not be more than say 25.
Yes.
Yes, I had 33. I just not believe it. Yeah, 20 to 25.
So you first of all cut down your weight. Was that the advice you got?
Well, interestingly, shedding weight it cannot be easy at all. So I just fell ill. I don't know how it came. I became extremely very lean, much leaner than the normal. But after some time, I came back. But,
so have you been on high blood pressure medication for the past 50 years now?
Oh yes.
Really?
Oh yes.
Wow.
Yes. And
that's interesting. So you're saying that the diagnosis of high blood pressure is not the end of the world.
No,
you can live.
It's never.
You can live an active, fulfilled life even after that. I mean, 50 years on blood pressure medication.
Exactly.
So, but the thing is, they call it a silent killer. I think it's if you don't find out that you have it. Isn't it? Because you didn't find out for 2 years that you had high blood pressure. What were the symptoms that made you go to the doctor and say something is wrong, and then they did the test?
Yeah, I was having headaches. Yes, headache, and fever. Also, I was getting very weak very easily. After some little walk, I'd be tired and a host of things like that. So I had to go.
Even though you were so young, you were 27.
Oh, yeah, 27.
Because I mean, the general, I think. People think that high blood pressure is an older person's illness. So it's not. You can get it at any age.
Oh, yes.
That's what you're telling us at 27. 27 is quite young.
Just like diabetes, you just don't believe it.
Yes.
And we have people who are just about 10 years.
Yes, and they have diabetes.
Yeah, that's
but I always thought that high blood pressure came with age, that maybe when you're in your 40s, 50s. So this is interesting to me to know that you can develop high blood pressure at 27. Yeah. But it's not something to be afraid of as long as you maintain, you control it with medication, lifestyle, and diet.
Exactly.
Right? You keep your weight down.
Exactly. Yes.
So those are the things that have helped, because you look so young. You would easily pass for a 65-year-old. Honestly, you look so good. Thank you. So that's interesting to know that you've been living with high blood pressure for 50 years.
So an interesting experience also. There was a time I had a lecture which I spoke to some people. And I realized that everybody was very excited. But I saw two people, a younger man and I think the wife, they not too happy. I wanted to know so that I could solve the problem for them. And the wife told me that, the husband has high BP. And what he was told was that he could die anytime. So I asked for his age, and he told me he was 40 or 41 years old. I told him to clap for himself, first of all. He told me he was 40 or 41, that he should clap for himself. We just couldn't understand. I said, yes, because mine started at 27, and yours, 41. If I looked at me again, and I told him as at that time, I retired about 7 years earlier, so I was about 67 years then. And I told him that by God's grace, I'll still live so many more years. So
did you give him some tips and advice?
Oh yes, I advise that basically, they should not. He should not. I think the wife also. None of them, should think about it. That yes, once you have a hypertension, you can have a stroke. You have a lot of. Yeah, the issue is this. You have to be very careful with all those things. I said they should not do it.
Does anger contribute to blood pressure?
Oh yes, it does. Yes.
Anger and stress.
Yes. A lot of things like that, because those are rule breaking.
We have a caller now. Let's see if we can get this caller on. Good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from? I'm sorry. Good evening. We lost that caller too. Sorry, I think we have problem with the switchboard this evening. Sorry about that. So you're saying?
Okay. Yeah. So I had to advise them that because the problem people can have is a psychological problem. Yeah, because I don't know whether you heard about a institution of somebody who went to the hospital. They did a HIV test for the person, and I think they made a mistake. The sample, a different person's sample was given to. So what he got was that he had a HIV. Yes, he just not believe it. Within 2 weeks, just like a broom.
He started to develop the symptoms because he allowed it to affect him psychologically.
Yes. When the doctor now called that sorry. Yeah, when the doctor now called that sorry,
we made a mistake.
Yeah, it was a mistake. He just not believe it. Yeah, within 2 weeks,
he came back.
Exactly, yeah, that's it.
So the body and mind does work together.
Exactly. So we have to be very careful. So I just advised them that all he needed to do was take his drugs. You should not break a rules. If they say don't do this and so forth, don't do it. And
stay calm.
Exactly.
Stay calm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
if you're driving, especially in Nigeria, when you are driving, people just let them go. Allow them to go. Don't stress yourself. Don't shout and
Exactly. Yeah, so, because you can't help yourself, by doing all those things, because extra stress, does not do anything.
Does not help blood pressure.
Exactly.
Yes. So you've been managing it well, and there's no problem. That's good.
No problem.
That's good.
No problem at all.
That's good. You look really good. I'm saying that again. Yes. So the final soundtrack to your life this evening is "Amazing Grace."
Yeah.
Amazing Grace.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, I get very excited each time I listen to this. Yeah, because I remember specifically when I was at the University of Ibadan, for a cup of tea, I could add as many as 8 to 10 cubes of sugar.
Was this before, after your high blood pressure diagnosis?
No, before.
Before.
Yeah, I was in the university.
So those probably were the things that contributed to your high blood pressure, probably.
Perhaps,
yes. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, perhaps, yes. And interestingly, diabetes, no, not there at all. Not there at all. In fact, every test I do, I test negative to it, and I keep on wondering. Yeah, because if we...
So do you still take 8 cubes of...
No, I don't think about it at all anymore.
No more sugar?
I don't take, yeah.
You don't take sugar at all?
No, I take very little. I take just a cube. Oh, yes. I just take only a cube. Yeah, because when we're talking about grace, God is so much about it, because interestingly, from the beginning to the end of our life, we enjoy His grace.
Oh, yes.
We can't do anything without His grace.
Yes. We
can't, just for a second, our existence is not just possible. But we have been having problems, actually, of taking the grace for granted. That's has been the problem. We should not take it for granted, but God has been extremely very good.
So you think it's the grace of God that has carried you for the 77 years of your life?
That's it.
Yes.
Because...
Do you have any regrets? Any regrets in your life?
Yes, I have. I must confess, yes. Yeah, because when I was much young, if anybody did me, if anybody did a wrong, I would try as much as possible to avenge it on the person, But that's what's wrong, I shouldn't have done that,
So you regret doing that?
Oh, yes, I regret.
So now you believe that vengeance is the Lord's?
Exactly, yeah, that's it. Because there's no basis, actually, to take a vengeance. Yeah, so
that's your main
exactly.
That's your main regret. So are you a happy man?
Oh yes, I thank God.
You're fulfilled.
Oh yes.
So how do you relax these days? You're retired.
Oh yes.
So
I have a lot of things that I'm doing. Yeah, professional association. Yeah,
so you're still active.
Oh yes, I'm still very active.
Is that very important to you to be active?
Oh yes, very very important.
Because a lot of your mates are relaxing, putting their feet up after all the years of labor.
The problem is that each time you stop being active,
yes,
and then it means that you're inviting trouble upon yourself. Yeah, because God created every part of the body to be used. Okay. So when it's not used, so it becomes a very big problem.
So I'm going to ask you just a short question now. So if I offered you water or wine, what would it be? What would you choose?
I'll take water.
You take water?
Oh yes.
Yes, over wine. The best wine.
Oh yeah, no, I'll take
water. Still take water?
Yeah, I'll take water.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yes.
So if I offered you the full works of Shakespeare or the Holy Bible, which one would you choose?
Of course, no Bible.
The Bible.
Oh, yeah. I'll take the Bible.
Why you take the Bible? It's richer than the full works of Shakespeare.
Exactly, because
the Bible has everything we need.
God has been so good. You know, that anything His at all, we carry with a lot of respect.
Yes. Have you enjoyed your time on our program?
Extremely very fantastic.
You've enjoyed it.
Oh yes.
I thank you very much for coming, and I'm going to send you off now to continue your life journey. I hope you have many more years in good health. What luxury item can you not do without? Just one item of luxury that you must have. Nothing. You can think of one.
Yeah,
any luxury, any item that is of luxury that you must have. Nothing. You're not attached to anything.
No,
that's very good.
No, not at all.
Thank you very much for being my guest this evening.
Thank you very much.
Sir Pat Atolagbe.
Thank you.
It's been a great pleasure. Please join me next week, same time, 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday for another guest as we journey through their life. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening.